The holographic seal of the Galactic Council flickered to life above the assembly floor, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of 1,000 alien species. Ambassador Chenwei stood alone at the center of the circular chamber, his hands clasped behind his back, his expression carved from stone. "The Council has reached its decision," announced High Arbiter Velcross, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into rainbow patterns. "Humanity is hereby expelled from the galactic community. You have 30 standard cycles to vacate all Council space." The verdict had been expected, but the finality of it still sent a chill through Chen's spine. Around the chamber, delegates from species both ancient and newly ascended watched with expressions ranging from pity to barely concealed satisfaction. The charges had been clear: excessive aggression, rapid militarization, and the cardinal sin of refusing to submit their AI research to Council oversight. "We came to you in peace," Chen said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. "We shared our technology, our culture, our friendship, and this is how you repay us?" "You are too dangerous," replied Councillor Thexinar, the molluscan representative whose species had first proposed humanity's expulsion. "Too unpredictable. Too willing to break the old ways. Better you leave now before your recklessness threatens us all." Chen smiled then, a cold expression that made several nearby delegates shift uncomfortably. "As you wish, councillors. Humanity will leave your space. But remember this moment. Remember that you were the ones who turned us away." The human ships departed within 20 cycles. An exodus that saw millions of colonists, scientists, and military personnel streaming back toward the outer rim territories humanity had claimed before Council contact. They left behind embassies, research stations, and carefully built relationships spanning 3 decades. The Council believed they had solved a problem. They had no idea they had unleashed something far more dangerous, a humanity with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. The region humanity fled to was called the Outback by Council cartographers, a vast stretch of unclaimed space avoided by most species due to its harsh conditions and sparse resources. It was perfect. While Council species had grown soft under millennia of peace and prosperity, content to mine asteroids and terraform paradise worlds, humans had evolved on a planet that tried to kill them daily. They knew how to thrive in hostile environments. The transformation began immediately. Without Council restrictions on AI development, human researchers unleashed decades of suppressed innovation. Quantum consciousnesses became reality within 5 years, managing complex systems with efficiency that would have taken organic beings centuries to achieve. Shipyards multiplied across dozens of systems, churning out vessels that married human creativity with cutting-edge automation. But technology alone didn't build an empire. It was humanity's greatest weapon, one the Council had never understood: their ability to make allies of the unwanted. The Outback wasn't empty. It was home to dozens of minor species, rejected or ignored by the Council for failing to meet arbitrary standards of civilization. The insectoid Crixtar deemed too aggressive, the plant-based Verdani too slow-growing, the silicon-based Teshkar too incompatible with organic life. All had been passed over, deemed unworthy of Council protection or partnership. Humanity offered them something radical: equality. "We don't care what you look like or how you think," said Director Sarah Kim, humanity's first Minister of Colonial Integration, addressing an assembly of minor species leaders. "We care about what you can do, what you want to build. Join us and we'll reach for the stars together." The response was overwhelming. Species that had spent centuries in isolation suddenly found themselves welcomed, valued, integrated into a growing federation that celebrated differences rather than demanding conformity. The Crixtar's warrior culture became the backbone of humanity's military academies. The Verdani's patient terraforming techniques transformed barren worlds into gardens. The Teshkar's unique perspectives on physics revolutionized shield technology. Within 50 years, the human-led coalition calling itself the Terran Compact controlled more territory than a third of Council space. Their economy boomed, fueled by the combined ingenuity of hundreds of species working in genuine partnership. Their military, forged in the harsh crucible of Outback survival, had become formidable. The Council noticed, of course. How could they not? Trade routes that had once run through Council space now diverted to compact ports. Species on the Council's borders looked toward the Outback with envious eyes. seeing prosperity and freedom where council law promised only stagnation and red tape. Some even defected, entire colonies voting to leave the council's protection for the compact's promise. Ambassador Chen Wei, now graying but still sharp, stood once more before the Galactic Council. This time he wasn't requesting admission. He was dictating terms. Humanity returns to council space, he announced, his voice broadcast across 1,000 worlds. Not as supplicants, but as equals. The Terran Compact offers the Council an alliance, open borders, mutual defense, and free exchange of ideas. We harbor no grudge for the past. We simply ask that you recognize what we've become. High Arbiter Velcross, older now and dimmer than before, regarded the human ambassador with something approaching respect. And if the Council refuses? Chen's smile was warm, but his eyes were steel. Then the Compact will continue to grow, and the Council will continue to shrink. The choice, as always, is yours. The vote wasn't unanimous, but it didn't need to be. The Council, faced with irrelevance or adaptation, chose survival. The treaty was signed within a year, and humanity's ships, bearing the flags of 100 allied species, returned to Council space as partners rather than subjects. In the decades that followed, historians would debate the Council's greatest mistake. Some said it was the exile itself. Others claimed it was underestimating humanity's resilience. But the wisest among them recognized the truth. The Council's error was forgetting that humanity had never needed permission to be great. They only needed to be pushed hard enough to prove it. And in the cold darkness of the Outback, where humanity had been cast aside and forgotten, they had forged an empire not through conquest, but through the simple revolutionary act of treating everyone as equals. It was the most human thing they could have done, and it changed the galaxy forever.